Notice to the public, if you wish to address the council, please complete the public wish to address the council form located on a table near the entrance to the building and give it to either the chairman or council clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. Individuals addressing the council should be respectful of others in their choice of words and actions. All cell phones, pages, and electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. We'll call the meeting to order of Wednesday, January 13th, 2021, 6 p.m. We'll have an invocation by Councilman Harding and the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Babin. Please rise.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, let thy will be done on earth as it is done in heaven. O Heavenly Father, we come in the name of Jesus tonight, O God, knowing that our lives are predestined. And we ask, O God, that your heavenly will be imposed upon this meeting in your darling Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I have a roll call, Ms. LeCompte?
Mr. Babin?
Here.
Mr. Dirk Gidry? Here. Mr. Charles Clare?
Here.
Mr. Navy?
Here.
Mr. Harding? Here. Mr. Michel? Mr. Domedy?
Here.
Ms. Domingue? Here. Mr. Darren Gidry? Here. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, the first item on the agenda is the election of the new 2021 chair. So we're going to open up the nominations. Ms. Domingue?
Yes, sir. I would like to nominate Mr. Carl Harding.
Mr. Harding, you accept? Thank you. Mr. Domedy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to nominate Mr. Darren Gidry.
Mr. Gidry, you accept?
I do. Move the nomination to close.
Move the nomination to close, Mr. Babin.
Second.
Second, Mr. Michel. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. Give me a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Babin?
Mr. Gidry.
Mr. Dirk Gidry? Mr. Charles Clare?
Harding?
Mr. Navy?
Harding?
Mr. Harding?
Harding.
Mr. Michel?
Mr. Gidry.
Mr. Amity?
Mr. Gidry?
Ms. Domingue?
Mr. Harding.
Mr. Darren Gidry?
Mr. Gidry.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 votes for Mr. Darren Gidry, and you have 4 votes for Mr. Harding.
Thank you all, gentlemen and ladies. Congratulations, Darren. They will come spray it down for you. Take your agenda too. Strange world. Thank you guys for your support, and I look forward to working very closely with each one of you guys. Next item on the agenda is the election of the 2021 Council Vice Chair. Do we have any nominations? Mr. John Navy.
I'd like to nominate Ms. Jessica Doman.
Mr. Dirk Gidry.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Danny Babin.
We have 2 nominations. Any more nominations?
Move the nomination to be closed.
Motion to close by Mr. Gerald Michel.
Second.
Second by Mr. Steve Trosclair. Roll call vote.
Mr. Babin?
Mr. Babin.
Mr. Dirk Gidry?
Mr. Babin.
Mr. Charles Clare?
Domingue.
Mr. Navy?
Domingue?
Mr. Harding?
Domingue?
Mr. Michel?
Mr. Babin.
Mr. Amity?
Babin?
Ms. Domingue?
Domingue.
Mr. Darren Gidry?
Mr. Babin.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 votes for Mr. Babin and 4 votes for Ms. Domingue.
Thank you very much. Next item, approval of minutes of the regular council session held on December 9th, 2020. Moved by Mr. Dirk Gidry,
seconded by Mr. Gerald Michel. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Distribute minutes of the regular council meeting held on December 16th, 2020, which I think's been done. Approve manual checklist, November 2020. Moved by Mr. Dirk Gidry, seconded by Mr. John Navy. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Approve accounts payable bill list for the 12/21/2020, 12/28/2020, 1/4/2021, and 1/11/2021. Moved by Mr. Dirk Gidry, second by Mr. John Navy. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 1, general business, proclaiming January 2021 as Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And that is going to be home. Do we have a proclamation, Suzette? Okay. Do we have you want a motion to defer? And why don't you come up and you can say your name, and the proclamations are being printed up, which we're going to read in a few minutes. But we sure like to hear a little more about the problem of human trafficking.
My name is Janae Como. I work for the Terrebonne.
Give your name and address.
Okay, Janae Como. I live in Houma, Louisiana. Do you need my full address? I work at the Children's Advocacy Center, and this is Macy Hidalgo. She was placed with us at our facility by the governor's office through a grant, and so our human trafficking work is kind of going through her. So she has some statistics that are on the proclamation, but I'll let her say a few words.
All right. Well, I tell you what, if you want to, I can go ahead and read that proclamation now. I just got it.
Yes, sir.
And then we can talk about it. Whereas 159 human trafficking cases were reported in the state of Louisiana in 2019, and whereas 59% of the reported victims were identified as juveniles under the age of 17, and whereas the Terrebonne Child Advocacy Center is a part of the statewide initiative to improve outcomes for children and youth survivors through the governor's office as part of the Louisiana Child and Youth Collaborative, and whereas all Louisiana agencies, departments, businesses, faith-based, and community organizations play a significant role in the supporting victims of human trafficking and their families in a safe environment. And whereas January is National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month, and all Terrebonne community members have a role to play in the fight to combat human trafficking by promoting involvement, supporting victims, and raising awareness efforts to educate on the global, national, state, and local level of human trafficking. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Terrebonne Parish Council on behalf of the parish president and the entire parish government that the month of January 2021 be proclaimed Human Trafficking Awareness Month in Houma, Terrebonne, and urge all residents to engage in activities whose purpose it is to strengthen families and communities to provide the optimal environment for children to grow healthy and thrive. The proclamation is hereby presented by our parish president, Mr. Gordon Dove, and signed by myself on representing the council.
We would just like to say thank you for acknowledging this issue and taking the time to hear the voices of many silent victims. Thank you all.
And thank you all for what you do. Stay up there. We do have a few lights. Ms. Domain?
Yes, ladies, thank you so much for being here today. I've taken several trainings on how to recognize human trafficking, and it's very disturbing. And what I want to ask you guys is if how do we get more in education, especially to parents? If parents want to know more about human trafficking, where can they get the information? We have placards at our office that, if you recognize something or if you suspect something, you can call this number. Or if someone is being trafficked and they're at our clinic, they could call the number or even text the number to get help. But it's especially scary for young people with social media, and there's lots of trafficking. And I know there's been trafficking even in Louisiana. And so if someone would want more information, where could they go to get that?
Our Children's Advocacy Center, I am the provider of those resources now. That's part of my job. We're also developing a multidisciplinary team with all local field experts to help notice the victims that are being unnoticed, so they can come to the Advocacy Center for those resources.
Okay, and if you guys ever need any assistance from me,
Absolutely.
please call me. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Amity.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I thank you ladies for what you're doing. It's something that's dear to myself as well as my wife. My wife, being a state rep, pushes legislation on this to try and really stop what's happening. A lot of people don't realize what human trafficking is. They think it's buying and selling slaves, but it's a whole lot more than that, and there's a lot of it going on not only in Louisiana but in Houma as well that people don't realize because it's not spoken about, and I think it needs to be spoken more. So again, I appreciate you guys for what you're doing, and as always, as much as we can get the message out to bring awareness, we will gladly do our part. So like my colleagues, if there's anything we can do, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Mr. Navy.
Yes, and I appreciate what you all do. I don't know if a lot of people know that the Children's Advocacy Center is definitely part of the District Attorney's Office, and you all put in a training a few years ago at the District Attorney's Office in reference to human trafficking, and actually hearing some of those stories of the young ladies that was testifying, sharing their testimony in reference to the human trafficking, and I tell you, it's really a sad situation. And listening to what they were saying and the things that happened to them, and a lot of young ladies, especially in the school system, as far as the children, don't realize the danger that they're in, and don't understand their surroundings a lot of times. And that education does help, really helps a lot. So I appreciate what you are doing. I appreciate what the District Attorney's Office is doing, and anything we can do to support, we do anything we can. But keep up the great work. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. All right, moving on. Staff reports pursuant to Section 2-73 and 2-98 of the Parish Code. Parish President Gordon E. Dove recommends and requests the acceptance of his recommendation to appoint Jules P. Hebert as Parish Attorney and the following as Assistant Parish Attorneys: Brian J. Marceau, Michelle Neal, Harley Papa, Christian St. Martin, Derek Bersingate, Patrick Yancey, Courtney Alcock, Vince DeGate, Tanner McGee, Kentley Fairchild, Chris Ernie, John Lawden, Gary Williams Jr., and Craig Landry. Motion to hold for 2 weeks by Mr. Dirk Guidry, seconded by Mr. Danny Babin. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. Next item, I think we have the update on the drainage pumps and generators and other projects. Mr. Mike Toops.
Thank you, Council Chairman Guidry. If anybody has any questions, I'd entertain them now. If not, I would like a brief moment to bring you up to date on the Government Towers elevator project. Just yesterday, the State Fire Marshal inspected all the elevators. They had one outstanding item which should have been cleared today. We should be doing substantial completion on the project early next week. There are two outstanding items. As you know, the middle elevator goes all the way up to the penthouse, and the new electric motor is actually on the roof of the building. So they had to put a stand to put the new motor on, and it's high enough to where they wanted a step to it. So we have to put a step and a handrail, and then in the control house, which is air conditioned, there's 2 5-ton units in case any of the computerized equipment, to keep the computerized equipment from overheating. All that remains is the flooring to be painted. All of the elevators have been checked, the controls work. I think you can find that the operation is much more smoother. The doors open up and close a lot smoother, and it's all computerized. If you press the call button for an elevator, the computer recognizes which car is the closest to that floor and will automatically bring it up. So the contractor did a phenomenal job. They finished on schedule and under budget. So thank you for the time for that.
Mr. Dove?
Yes, am I on? Yeah, first of all, I'd like to announce my sister Alicia Dove, who's over here in the audience. Thank you for coming, Alicia. And just to give y'all a heads up, the industrial pump station, you know, we've been wrapping the pilings with cement and epoxy, working with Dirk Guidry, and we're fixing to move the levee on the Van Avenue side of it over about 40 feet, because that levee was originally built and it's starting to collapse into that retention area. And we're going to change the rakes into some galvanized rakes on the front. We had added a 42-inch pump, that is complete. And we've applied to the statewide flood program for a brand new pump station. That's probably 4 years away. So we're moving on that. And the road in that area is they paved one lane. They may have paved the other lane. I didn't go today. And so they're wrapping up those new culverts underneath the road. And that pump station just has a lot of problems. It hadn't been maintained for 20 years, and we've taken out 400 loads of mud out of it probably, and trying to get the people in Acadian and all some relief on pumping. And a lot of the problem with the industrial pump station was built. It's got no concrete sump on it, so we've cleaned all that out, and like I said, we're wrapping the pilings so we can get a few years out of it. But to the people in that area, we are working diligently on it. And also Highway 311, that pump station and a water control structure on there, they should be moving that crane out to the people of Sugarwood and the lakes and all that area, Westgate and all that area. They finally wrapped it. They're wrapping it up. They've closed in the dirt across the bayou from it. So we've had trouble with the contractor. Had trouble finishing the project. We had to bring in the performance bond company, and Mr. Vincent DeGate handled it on behalf of the parish, and he did a wonderful job. And all the vendors are paid for it. So far we hadn't ended up with court with it. I think Vincent handled it very, very well, and. But you should be seeing a crane move out within the next week, and hopefully we'll cut the ribbon on it in a couple of weeks. And Hanson Canal is very, very close to finishing. That's probably a couple of weeks away in Gibson Bob Black. So we've got those new construction and refurbishing an old one on industrial, which we've got that pretty close to trying to get all that straight. So thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Dove. Anything else on staff reports? Anything else on the reports? Okay. All right. As per speaker cards, do we have a couple of speaker cards on some of the public hearing items? Do we have anybody who would like to speak in the general public? I don't think we have any more, huh, Suzette? No more speaker cards? Is it one of the public hearing items that? This would be the time. If you want to go up to the podium and introduce yourself, if you don't mind, and give your address.
My name is Robert Cutting. I'm a retired boat captain, water survival instructor. I was in the Navy, okay? We used to blast away with our guns and practice, with drone aircraft and things like that. 8 hours of fireworks blasting on both sides of my house, okay? New Year's. I mean, it sounded like destroyer fire. That's what I was on, was a destroyer. And my little dog, I thought my little dog was going to die. I had a female dog, I had 4 dogs actually. She was hyperventilating. Well, you can take a dog at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night when you think she's dying, all right? I'm upset, okay? That's why I came tonight. Why can't you have the fireworks go to a football field or a big soccer field or something and have the people blast their fireworks there? And New Year's Day wasn't so bad. It was only 5 hours of fireworks. So that's all I got to say. I hope you can do something about it. I know you need the revenue for the parish and this and that, but my golly, I mean, it's both sides of my house. I mean, nonstop. I don't know where you get the money to buy all those fireworks. I mean, they must have blasted $1,000 worth or more. All right, thank you.
No, stay there if you don't mind. We have a few lights. What did you say your last name was again?
Cutting, Cutting.
Thank you, Mr. Cuttings. Go ahead, Mr.
Mr.
Babbitt.
Cuttings, I'm sorry, I didn't hear where you live. You live in the city?
I live in
outside?
Ashland North.
Ashland
I
North?
have the nicest house in there. I've elevated 12
Okay.
feet.
I just wanted to know where it was because
about
there
200
are
homes in there.
restrictions on where we're supposed to be popping fireworks. So,
Right.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I know we will be revisiting that issue in the future before the 4th of July. Mr. Harding.
Yes, I had the sentiments of the gentleman that just left here. I live inside the city, and it's not just during the hours that were permitted by the ordinance. It's just that, the opportunity to pop fireworks in the middle of the daytime at any hour seemed to have presented itself inside the city, which I live. So there should be concern how we be able to handle that in the future.
Thank you. Any other public? All right. Do we want to? Oh, Mr. Dove.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wanted to announce something when we had it. We recently received this, Mr. Chairman, if it's okay, I'd like to read
Yes.
it out. It's concerning the Hurricane Zeta Major Disaster Declaration, which was approved by President Trump. Governor John Bel Edwards' request for a major disaster declaration due to damages in Louisiana from Hurricane Zeta has been approved by President Trump. This will help provide direct assistance, which is very important. We were waiting on direct assistance to Terrebonne Parish residents and communities impacted by the storm. Hurricane Zeta affected Terrebonne Parish on October 28th as a very strong, likely Category 3 system with sustained winds of at least 110 miles an hour, higher wind gusts, and heavy rainfall. The major disaster declaration provides individual assistance, which we didn't have before, for individuals, households, and public assistance to Terrebonne Parish governmental agencies for emergency work and repair and replacement of disaster damage infrastructure. FEMA individual assistance offers residents multiple options to access individual assistance. Residents may receive information through the internet smartphone application. Residents may apply for assistance or check their application status on www.disasterassistance.gov, which will be on all our communications that we constantly put out through the Office of Emergency Preparedness and the parish administration. Residents may also access FEMA via smartphone by downloading the application www.fema.gov or through their mobile phone provider's application store. FEMA toll-free helpline, residents may call FEMA toll-free 1-800-621-3362 to register for assistance or check their application status. Information may be found on the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government webpage at www.tpcg.org or by calling Terrebonne Parish Homeland Security or Emergency Preparedness at 985-873-6357, which is great news for assistance, public assistance, and I just received this, so I would have had something to hand out to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dove. And Mr. Guidry?
Yeah, can y'all make sure when this is put out that it's put out on our TV station also, please? Because I mean, my area and Steve's area got hit the hardest, so we'd like to try to get these people as much information as we can. So, thank y'all.
Good point.
Mr. Navy.
Yeah, actually, Suzette, we need to try to, any media outlets that we could try to put it out on, like our Facebook and on our pages like that too, seeing that the public is very keen on that. Thank you.
All right, since it's not yet 6:30, let's move on to committee reports. Budget and Finance Committee, Mr. Navy.
I'd like to make a motion tonight, the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Budget and Finance Committee meeting held on January 11th, 2021, which have two public hearings, to authorize acquisition of property, sites, and servitudes required for drainage projects, including 1B, and call a public hearing. Said matter Wednesday, January 27th, 2021, at 6:30 p.m. Also, to amend the 2021 adopted operating budget of the 5-year capital outlay budget of Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items and to provide for related matters. Health Unit Construction Fund, $200,000. Bayou Black Pump Station, Hanson Canal, $55,000. Bayou Terrebonne Pump Station, $75,531. Bayou Country Sports Park, $312,131. Brady Road Bridge Replacement, $834,029. West Side Elmer Street Drainage, $826,667. Bayou Country Sports Park, $1,900,000. $1,009,900. I'm sorry. Bayou LaCarp Drainage, $750,000. And calling a public hearing on said matter Wednesday, January 27, 2021, at 6:30 p.m. Go Gerald.
Motion by Mr. Navy, seconded by Mr. Gerald Michel. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Public Service Committee, Mr. Carl Harding.
Yes, I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Public Service Committee meeting held January 11, 2020, which calls for 3 public hearings. And they are to rename the Homer Terrebonne Civic Center as Barry P. Moreland Civic Center and call for a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, January 27, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. The second is to authorize the acquisition of property, sites, or servitudes required for the Lerat Street Pump Station Improvement Project, Parish Project number 21-DRA-01. Authorize the parish president to execute any and all documents necessary to acquire sites, properties, or servitudes for the said property and call for a public hearing on matter Wednesday, January 27, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. The third, to adopt and make permanent the amendment to Section 13-89 of the Terrebonne Parish Code of Ordinance as adopted via emergency ordinance number 9222 on December 16, 2020, and one additional amendment and call for a public hearing on said matter Wednesday, January 27, 2020 at 6:30 p.m.
Moved by Mr. Harding, seconded by Mr. Dirk Gidry. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Community Development and Planning Committee, Ms. Jessica Domingue.
I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Community Development and Planning Committee held on January 11th, 2021, which calls for 2 public hearings to accept and enter into servitude agreements right away or expropriate as necessary to secure the rights necessary to accomplish the TPCG Lake Boudreaux Living Mitigation CDBG DR LA Safe Project and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, January 27th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. To adopt a cooperative endeavor agreement between TPCG and Homa Float Sales and Rentals LLC for lease rentals of floats for the Terrebonne Parish Christmas Parade and to authorize the parish president to enter into and execute the cooperative endeavor agreement on behalf of TPCG and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, January 27th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m.
Motion by Mr. Domingue, seconded by Mr. Steve Trosclair. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Streetlights. As per Mr. Danny Bavin, drew a blank there. Seconded by Mr. Trosclair. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, appointments to various boards. Fire Protection number 5, 1 expiring term. Mr. Nolan Bajeron expresses his interest to be reappointed. Moved by Steve Trosclair, seconded by Dirk Gidry. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item B, Fire Protection District Number 8, 2 expired terms. Mr. Roosevelt Seymour expresses his interest in being reappointed.
Motion to accept the application, close, and to appoint Mr. Roosevelt Seymour.
Okay, so we're moving to accept the application and appoint Mr. Seymour and hold the second opening. Seconded by Ms. Domeng. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item C, Fire Protection District Number 10, 2 expiring terms. Ms. Holly Liner and Mr. Jimmy Verrett express their interest in being reappointed.
Open, close, and appoint.
Open, close, and reappoint by Mr. Babin. Seconded by Mr. Gerald Michel. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item D, Coteau Fire Protection District Board, 1 expiring term. Mr. Ivy DeRoche Jr. expresses his interest in being reappointed. Moved by Mr. Amity, seconded by Mr. Michel. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Is it 6:30? I have 6:26. I think we go by their official time. Item E, Village East Fire Protection Board, 1 expiring term. Mr. Nigel Hodgson expresses his interest in being reappointed.
Motion, close, and appoint.
Okay. Mr. Babin made the motion. Mr. Amity seconded. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Child and Youth Services Planning Board, 6 expiring terms. Faith-based organization, Office of Juvenile Justice, Department of Health and Hospitals, Office of Behavioral Health, Options for Independence, Gulf Coast Teach and Family Services, and Houma Police Department.
Hold over for 2 weeks.
Motion to hold, Mr. Babin. Second, Mr. Amity. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Item G, Downtown Development Corporation, 3 expired terms representing the Historical Society, the Parish President, and the Arts and Humanities. Ms. Carmen Ellender Waits has expressed her interest in being reappointed as the Parish President's appointee. Moved by Mr. Trosclair, seconded by Mr. Michel. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. South Central Louisiana Human Services Authority, 1 vacancy representing the medical field, MD, RN, or coroner's office, judicial system, or law enforcement. Do we have a motion to hold? He withdrew his application. Motion to hold by Mr. Guidry, seconded by Mr. Amity. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Houma Terrebonne Regional Planning Commission, 1 vacancy due to a resignation. Mr. Ross Burgard submits application and resume for consideration.
Open, close, and appoint.
Motion by Mr. Babin, seconded by Mr. Amity. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Now I have 6:29, so I guess we got to go by this time. Vacancy to various boards and commissions. The Bayou Blue Fire Protection, 1 expiring term. Coteau Fire Protection District, 1 vacancy due to a resignation. Recreation District 2-3, 1 vacancy due to resignation. Recreation District Number 3A, 1 vacancy due to expired term. Recreation District Number 8, 1 expired term on February 24th, 2021. The Terrebonne Parish Tree Board, 1 vacancy due to a resignation and 1 expiring term. And Houma Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, 1 expiring term representing a nonprofit organization.
Motion to go into 6:30 public hearing.
Motion to go into 6:30 public hearing by Mr. Babin. Seconded by Mr. Guidry, Dirk Guidry. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Item 1, an ordinance. Item A, an ordinance to authorize the acquisition of sites in full ownership and/or servitudes required for the Hollywood Road Extension Bridge project. Public once, public twice, public 3 times. Motion closed by Mr. Babin. Seconded by Mr. Amity. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion to adopt by Mr. Babin, seconded by Mr. Amity. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item B, an ordinance to authorize the acquisition of property located at 219 Barrow Street, 8004 and 8008 Main Street, Houma, Louisiana, 70360, to facilitate the needs of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for additional parking and other needs adjacent to and in the vicinity of the government tower. Authorize the parish president to execute any and all documents. Public once. Oh, we do have a speaker card, Miss Lucretia McBride. I think you wanted to speak on this issue. Hold on, Ms. McBride.
Lucretia McBride, Burkwell Drive, Houma, Louisiana. I'm in favor of this purchase. I think it would be an incredible asset to the parish property. The Marfo Incorporated Company has been keeping that property well cared for, out of nuisance abatement, and it's historical too. It's actually a historical piece of property. I think that the parish would do really well in purchasing the entire property. Mr. Martin has confirmed to me that it does include all the parcels, and I'm happy about that, and I hope you all feel the same way. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McBride. Any other public on this issue? Public once. Public twice. Public 3 times. Motion to close by Mr. Dirk Gidry. Seconded by Mr. Carl Harding. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Public hearing is closed. Mr. Dove, you'd like to say something?
Yes, if you could, Ms. Suzette. There's been some question about the parcels. There's 3 parcels on this deal, so I want to make sure we get that straight. If you notice on page 1 is 1 parcel. This is as per the assessors and as per the documents done by Mr. Vincent DeGate. Mr. Vincent DeGate is quarantined right now. I think a member of his office or something has it, so he couldn't make it tonight. But on the first page is the first one, and as you can see, it goes all the way to Main Street. The second one, as you can see, is the one closer to the building, which goes all the way to Main Street. And then the third one is the one that goes to Barrow Street, that's closest to the school. Now, on the assessor site is the fourth page is what's on the assessor site. There's some misleading information sent out there, and I want to make sure that has been brought to everyone's attention. The fourth page was someone fabricated this, drew it, submitted it, and really it tried to convey it as being not going all the way to Main Street, if you look, and was trying to say it was 4 parcels, and we were only selling 3. Well, we're only buying 3. 8,000 is the 911 number for Main Street. That's why that number's on there. And if you look at the way they did this on the 4th page, look at the right-hand corner, how the line passes up. You can tell somebody drew this and missed it, because computers keep a pretty good corner. You can see the corners really aren't lined up. Someone was trying to was trying their best to mislead the parish, and I don't know who it is. We are looking into this, because when they're going to take public documents and start doctoring them, I think it's a very, very serious thing to look into. But I want to make sure that the public knows we're buying all the land at that corner, all the way to Main Street and Barrow Street, as you can see on the 3 pages. I just wanted to clear this up. I don't know why someone would do page 4. If we got page 4 up there, if we could move to page 4 of the screen. Wait. Go keep going one more. Yeah, that's it. That's page 4. As you can see, I don't think they knew the difference that 8,000 was a 911 number, so whoever did it was ignorant of the fact of how our 911 system works. So with that, I just want to make sure that the council is comfortable. We all buying the entire. Wait, that's my phone. I hit a recording. That we want to make sure that we let the public know that it is the entire corner. So thank y'all for your patience.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Dirk Gidry. Do we finished the public hearing. We're in discussion, but we do have a motion. Do we have a second to the motion? Seconded by Mr. Amadi. Okay, discussion. Mr. Michel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so who did this appraisal? I don't know who negotiated this, who has the information, but who did the appraisal?
Mr. Toops, I don't know who you want to answer that question.
I defer to Ms. Malden.
Ms. Malden. Let's see, there we are.
The appraisal and all was handled through Vince's office. I do have documentation from a Catherine Bourgeois with Murphy Appraisal Services. I believe she was the one that originally did the appraisal.
And Mr. DeGate is the one who ordered it? Or was?
I'm pretty sure it was done on our behalf because he was the one negotiating
Was it
it.
done on our behalf?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right, good. The question came up, was it appraised as income producing? Is that the reason the price went up from 388 to 430 over the last 3 years of depressed economy? Do we know that?
Did you need to answer that, Mr. Dove, or you want Mr. Toops to answer it?
Mr. DeGate's not here. I believe it was an income approach, but I'm not sure of that. I'd have to look back at it. I mean, we do a million things. Wow, what you getting at, Gerald?
Okay, so you think it was income approach? That's the question I'm asking. Okay, and then someone said something, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I've been wrong, although it's rare, about a fence and a gate being removed before this closes, or a fence or a gate.
Are you addressing Mr. Dove, Mr. Michel? Okay.
What it was is Mr. Falls wanted the two gates in the middle fence, which we were removing, and he threw it away anyway. So Mr. Vincent DeGate had to go back to the appraiser. Candace has the memo, if you don't mind reading from the appraiser, that this did not change the value of it. If you'll read it off, Candace, please.
Sorry. Yes, this email was sent to us from Vince DeGate, and it says, please see supplemental opinion by appraiser Catherine Bourgeois that removing middle fence and gates does not change the value of her appraisal.
Okay, thank you. And finally, last year, we paid the lease early in the year, and I'm told that the next lease payment is due toward the end of this year. I don't know if it's October or November. Are we going to pay the prorated amount? Are we going to pay the entire amount, or how is that going to work?
I can answer that too, Mr. Michel.
Okay.
We knew we were going to sell it, and Candace can reiterate, we did not pay this year in advance. We will prorate it, and he will be paid at the date of execution. Candace and Vince DeGate will figure out how much money he's got coming for January, and he will be paid accordingly. And this is a very simple task. We do it all the time.
Okay, and all that being said, I'm satisfied with those answers. It'd have been nice if we had bought it before he did and got it for $50,000 less, but it is what it is, and I will certainly support the purchase. Thank you.
For the record, we couldn't buy it before, Mr. Michel. You know, you've lied to this council before, and let's not go there. You know you're lying about that, just like you lied about Miss Baldwin, and it's a bunch of bull. Why don't you just cancel it and quit talking?
Okay. Please, let's not digress. Mr.
Welcome to the referee.
Okay. So, no, I've never lied to this council. I've misspoken by accident, but I've never lied to anything. Excuse me, I'm talking right now. I never have, and I never will.
Civil.
Okay, and if you want to talk about lies, the statement you made about him having the
please, Mr. Michel. Yeah, let's not talk about individuals, Mr. Michel. If you want to talk about,
I apologize for misspeaking, not for lying.
Mr. Michel.
I apologize for misspeaking, not for lying. I never once lied, and I never will.
Mr. Michel, do you have anything else on this issue? On the issue?
No, other than the fact that we should have bought it first. Nothing else. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion on the floor and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next item, an ordinance to adopt Larice Insurance Agency to serve as the agent, producer of record for property, flood insurance, special equipment floater, and inland marine coverage. We have Mr. Philip McMahon.
Good evening. My name is Philip McMahon. Can I take this off?
Yes.
Okay. Philip McMahon. I reside at 107 Cheyenne Boulevard in Houma, Louisiana. I am the current property insurance broker for Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government. Was appointed to that position in 2016 by the current administration, Mr. Gordy Dove, on that. And as of December 10th of this year, we were notified that we were going to be replaced by another agency, which is on the agenda this evening for that. And so I'm here to speak on behalf of why I think, as council members, you'll need to consider keeping my agency and me employed as your property insurance broker for quite a few reasons. So if you bear with me, I've got a few bullet points I would like to cover and express why. I think it's in the best interest of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government. So few quick pointers for y'all that don't know me. I am a lifelong resident of Houma, Terrebonne Parish. I grew up one block away from here on School Street. Married, live here, have 3 kids. All 3 kids going to school here. And one has returned and working with me in the agency. Back in 2016, as I said, current administration, Mr. Gordy Dove, gave me the opportunity in our agency to represent you guys. At that time, he was analyzing, working with local vendors, professionals, things like that. And I was fortunate, our agency was fortunate enough to be appointed to handle the property insurance. Back then, his goal, and he delivered on it, was if I can do business with local professionals that can give us superior service, I'm going to do that, and he delivered. He appointed one agent to handle the benefits, one local agent to handle the benefits, one to handle the casualty, one to handle the property, me, and another one to handle the specialty coverages on that. All 3 contracts have been renewed. My contract is not being renewed, and that's what y'all decision is and vote is for tonight on that. So with that being said, a few things. Number one, typically in past years when we got engaged in this process, we were notified pretty early of this. We were not notified until December. We started working on this account earlier than that date. And to the way the property insurance or any other insurance program works, if you're the agent negotiating the quotes, you're going to be the one that is compensated when coverage is placed. To date, we have negotiated all of those quotes. We have not done our formal proposal to the parish government yet. These things are trickling in, but we have done all the work. What is going to transpire if you do move forward and appoint the other agent and broker, that other agent is going to reap the rewards of our work and be compensated as the agent of record. That is in process right now. That's one problem. It's not fair. Someone's getting compensated for work they didn't do, and that's specific to the property insurance. I came to the committee meeting to try and have the opportunity to speak publicly. You know, apparently because of procedures, an ordinance, you cannot come and debate or educate the future voters. That ordinance at that evening was approved by the committee to be presented tonight. However, there was no opportunity for me as the property broker to discuss, again, the reasons why I should be retained for that position. We, in this process, were given an opportunity to meet with Mr. Dove to express, again, the reasons why. We were not successful. He informed us he was firm on that decision. We have considered alternatives to sweeten the pot, which we express that to the risk management department on it. And again, those opportunities to reduce cost on our end as a service professional were not accepted, and y'all continuing to move forward with that. We're looking for ways to stay engaged as your broker, and we're willing to do it for less than what we've done the last 3 years. I don't see where there's an advantage to the taxpayers on this, because the replacement broker that is proposed is doing for the same fees and schedules that we're doing it for. As far as I know, over the last 3 years, and in the letter that Mr. Dove gave us, we've done a good job. We've worked well with risk management and administration. We haven't been aware of any issues whatsoever. since our inception as the broker, your premiums for your property package that we handle has gone up 3.5%. That's to date. Tomorrow's another story. But as of today, we've gone up 3.5% since the premiums in 2016 are approximately $59,000. So I'm here to fight to retain my position as a property broker. I don't see where there is an advantage to the administration, to the taxpayers of Terrebonne Parish. I'm passionate about being a resident here and employing people to work here and living here and raising children here. And I thank you for your consideration on this. But compared to what the other brokers have done and everything, and another thing Gordy said, he's going to spread it out. Well, now we're going from 4 agents to 3. So I'm the one getting fired, getting kicked out. All the other brokers, their contracts were renewed, I think, were put on the agenda in October. We were never put on the agenda, even though every year. Prior years, we had a meeting with administration. We talked about budget, talked about the market conditions. That meeting never happened this year. I assumed it was as a result of dealing with 5 different hurricanes, and I know you guys in the administration had a lot to deal with. So, but now I see that was not addressed because there were some things going on leading to where we are tonight. Comparatively to what the other agents have done, I think we have outperformed our peers. If you compare premium increases over the years, deductible increases, none.
Motion to extend by Mr. Babin, seconded by Mr. Dirk Gidry. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Go ahead, Mr. McMahon. You have another minute.
We haven't increased deductibles. We haven't had to offset premium costs. That doesn't mean moving forward you're going to have to, because the insurance marketplace for property insurance moving forward after this storm season is extremely challenging on that. However, when you're comparing the last 4 years of what Paul's agency, my agency, has done, comparative, minimizing cost, minimizing increases without increasing deductibles to offset, we've checked all the boxes. I can't say, looking at the public records of the other agents and what we've been able to do, I think we've done a better job overall. So thank you for your consideration. Thank you, Mr. Duff, for the last 3 years. I want to stay on another 3 years. It's been a great pleasure to work with you. You got a good team here. And thanks to the risk management.
We have a light, Mr. Michel.
Thank you. I have a question for you, sir. And if you're not positive of the answer, please don't answer, because I'd hate for you to be called a liar. In your letter that you received from the parish, did it say it was subject to council approval, or did it say it was a done deal?
Mr. Dove did give us an opportunity to meet with him, so I did not bring a copy of that letter, and when we reached out to him to have a meeting, he did give us that opportunity.
Okay, so you're not sure if it said it was subject to council approval?
I can't answer that for him.
Okay.
So
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. McMahon. Thank you.
Okay.
Any more public? Public once, public twice, public 3 times. Motion closed by Mr. Babin, seconded by Mr. Michel. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Next item, D, an ordinance to authorize acquisition of property owned by Henry John Richard. Oh, yeah, right. Motion to adopt. Did you move it, Dirk? Okay. Motion by Dirk to adopt. Seconded by Mr. Amity. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Nay. Show 1 nay. Motion passes. Item D, an ordinance to authorize acquisition of property owned by Henry John Richard and Sharon Flynn Richard, required for the construction and installation of a sewer lift station on Martin Luther King Boulevard, State Highway 3040. Authorize the parish president to execute any and all documents necessary to acquire property for said purposes. Public once, public twice, public 3 times. Motion to close by Mr. Michel, second by Mr. Amity. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion to adopt by Mr. Michel, second by Mr. Amity. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Item E, an ordinance to amend the Terrebonne Parish Code of Ordinances to increase the existing 25 miles per hour speed limit to 35 miles per hour for the entire length of Klondike Road, and to promote for the installation of said signs and to provide for other related matters thereto. Public once, public twice, public 3 times. Motion to close by Mr. Guidry, seconded by Mr. Michel. All in favor say aye. Seconded by Mr. Trosclair. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion to adopt by Mr. Dirk Guidry, seconded by Mr. Trosclair. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion is adopted. Motion to go back in regular order by Mr. Babin, seconded by Mr. Michel. All in favor say aye. Mr. President, do you have any announcements? We announced the vacancies. Okay. Any council members have any announcements? All right, Mr. Navy.
Yes, I want to take the privilege to definitely tell everybody happy MLK Day on Monday. Stay safe. Also, since we're going to be coming up with new committees, I just want to remind the council that the committee chairmen run these meetings, and that if something is going astray where members are not obeying by Robert Rules of Orders, it's up to that chairman to direct that. And Jules and I had that conversation. It's not up to another member to tell another member. It's up to that council chairman of that committee to focus on that. So if we're going to do our home rule charters and abide by Robert Rules of Order to the best of our abilities, I'm just letting the chairmen of those committees, whatever form committees you all form, know that those chairmen of those committees are the ones that actually should be directed. But Jules, chime a little bit on that, please, because we've discussed this extensively ourselves, but even in my class we have. But please chime a little bit on that.
Yes, Mr. David asked me about the Robert's Rules of Order. As you know, Robert's Rules of Order is 300 or 400 pages. It's not parliamentary procedure. It's not something that people do every day, so it can be very cumbersome to learn. When a councilman is speaking, he's actually supposed to speak to the chair. The chair actually yields his time to the councilman to speak. It's actually the chair's position to speak, but he yields his time. So when you address, the appropriate procedure is to address the chair, not to argue amongst each other or with anybody else. I am willing, for some of you that may, or anybody, I think I've got a pretty good grasp of Robert's rules now and how to operate. And I would be willing to meet with each. I don't know who's going to be the committee chairman. I don't think Mr. Guidry has yet appointed as committee chairman yet, but I would be willing to meet with anybody, to come to my office and sit down. I think I can school you quick and assist you. If you notice in the packet that I sent out, I think Suzette spread it out, there's even a section in there that talks about the chairman who are new at not understanding Robert's Rules of Order. There's always a learning process. But I think if I sit down with you and I show you the critical points and we discuss it, I think we'll be well on our way. And again, I think Mr. Navy's whole position is to make a better meeting. And I applaud him for that. And I'm willing to work with anybody who becomes a council chair to assist in learning the Robert's Rules of Order and the way to conduct a meeting.
And I'm glad you offered the assistance. I also spoke with the district attorney in reference to this too. Mr. Waits have held some trainings in the past. If you all want to, he's willing to do that. Southern University Law Center, I spoke with them also. They're willing to come down. A lot of you all went to Southern University Law Center. But Jules have offered, and if you all need some assistance, I want you to take it up upon yourself to get some assistance from Jules. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Jules. Mr. Harding.
Yes, I received a letter from the Mardi Gras presidents of the Homo Carnival Club, Mardi Gras Council. I am the chairman of the Mardi Gras Committee. The letter reads, dated January 11, 2021. To the Terrebonne Parish Council, Administration, Humboldt Police Department, Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office, and General Public. Greetings. The presidents of the Homo Carnival Club would like to announce we have been meeting collectively since June 2019. Each organization has met together to bring our parish and improve and safe Mardi Gras while helping each other to improve within. This council began the discussion discussing the issue we would possibly be facing due to the pandemic in September 2020. All organizations have agreed that they want the very best for all the members of the public while safeguarding their interests due to the responsibilities and postponing or cancellation. Parish President Dove, his officials, and Sheriff Sonia have met with us to offer some possible solutions pending the governor's mandate and the parish percentage based on COVID-19 testing. It is our full intent to follow these guidelines. All organizations have made and are making plans to bring Terrebonne Parish another enjoyable Mardi Gras season. We are willing to fully cooperate the government officials with the intent to reschedule parades to later dates. No parish permit has been applied for at this time. We ask for the support from our parish officials because of the economic impact it will have on both the organizations and the parish. After discussion with officials, the following rescheduled dates have been selected: April 9th, 10th, and 11th, April 16th, 17th, and the 18th, April 23rd, 24th. The organization will like to meet again with government officials on March 15, 2020 for reassessment and planning in the Mardi Gras spirit. Sincerely, the Mardi Gras Council.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Mr. Babin?
Yes, since the other night I mentioned about the number to call for the Chabert vaccination, I got a couple of emails and a couple of texts, people that were watching the meeting the other night. So for the benefit of the people watching, the number to call for Oshners to get vaccinated at Chabert or possibly even our Raceland or at the main campus is 844-888-2772. Or you can, on the internet, My Oshner, MYOCHSNER.org. The number again, 844-888-2772. You may have to call multiple times, but that is the number to set it up, and the system works beautifully once you get in. So thank you very much. And also People's Drugstore, Wolf's Pharmacy, and I forget the other one on the east side. Can someone help me, please? Pharmacy Express also are giving the vaccine. So you can check with any one of them and get your name on the list. Again, this is for 70 and older. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. Mr. Trosclair?
Yes, just want to remind everyone, especially during these trying times, to keep our law enforcement, first responders, firefighters, especially our military active and veterans in your thoughts and prayers daily. Thanks.
Mr. Michel?
I also heard something about Stark Corporation offering them. Is that accurate? Okay, so Stark Corporation as well. And just continue to be safe, continue to do social distancing, and continue to wear your masks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Monthly engineers reports. As per, Mr. Dirk Guidry, second Mr. Steve Trosclair. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion adjourned by Mr. Dirk Guidry, seconded by Mr. Danny Babin. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thanks, guys.